this week's episode of Comic Chat with Gat, a weekly show where we talk about comic books and everything involved with them and teaching me, Gat, and Comic Chat with. So, this week, we usually have like a set schedule that we talk about before the show, just so I can understand at least what's going on. Taylor wouldn't let me look at the notes today, so I'm assuming it's something dealing with Teen Titans.
No.
Nope. Okay. Anyway, what are we doing today, Taylor?
Well, first, we're going to talk about Jughead #1. So it's the first offshoot kind of of the new wave of Archie. They've had a ton of offshoots. They have Archie versus Predator. They had like Zombie Archie or some other Archie versus something else. But this one is just about Jughead. It's supposed to be in the same universe as the newer stuff. It's supposed to be generally, but I know we both read it and it doesn't really feel that way.
It doesn't connect.
But at least it kind of has that modern feel to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's old Archie. It just feels like it's not really connected to the new stuff.
No, yeah. Well, especially because the illustrations of Betty.
Well, Betty looks like old Betty.
Yeah.
Not new Betty.
I don't notice it.
But it's, so this one's the new Jughead #1. This is a variant cover. And it's by Chip Zdarsky, and he's the guy that's been doing the Howard the Duck lately.
Okay.
The new Howard the Duck, and then the artist is from Squirrel Girl.
Okay. No idea.
Yeah. So I liked it. Let's talk about it actually. So drop some cards here. Chris, you read it too. What did you think? Let's talk about your.
I thought it was good. It was longer than a regular issue of Archie.
Well, because I think it's #1. Like, because remember, Archie #1 was a little bit longer.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I liked the little cutaway they did of the Game of
Thrones reference.
What was it called?
Probably Game of Burgers.
Something. Yeah. So that was kind of fun. And then I mean, it was funny too. Like because we swapped it when he read it and then I read it. He was like laughing out loud.
Yeah, I was laughing out loud.
I didn't find it to be laugh out loud. I mean, I was like, that's kind of fun. But otherwise, I mean, I thought it was solid. It was a good read.
Yeah, it was definitely great. I think that it started slow for me a little bit. I know at the beginning I was like, okay. But once it got past the Game of Thrones part, I actually really enjoyed it even more.
I thought the Game of Thrones, one of my favorite parts, though, of the Game of Thrones part was near the end, the dragon, when he actually speaks to the dragon. It was just, you'll have to read it. Obviously, we want you to always read these when we review them. But I thought it was funny. It was just like everyone's freaked out about this dragon, and the first thing the dragon said. I thought I was like, that's got moments.
Yeah, I took a picture of my favorite thing, and I'll put it up right here. So it was, had to do with Jughead and Batman, of course.
Yeah.
Anytime you can mix those things together, I'll get real excited. So we'll put that up right now, and you can read it.
What did you just do?
On the screen, you didn't see it, but I just showed the panel that I liked.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, my turn. There.
No, you don't have a panel that you like.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Doesn't work for you. Just like a blank screen. Okay. So yeah, Jughead #1. I recommend you read it. I think it was great. Chris liked it enough.
Sure.
And yeah, go pick it up. It just came out on Tuesday. So.
But if you haven't read the Archie reboot, do that.
Yeah,
that's great. We have really been enjoying the Archie reboot. So
I think Joe might actually pick that up.
Yeah.
Yes, remember. I don't know if you saw him in the chat. And he was
Corporal
like,
Box Show?
Yeah. He was like, yeah, Corporate Box Show. He was like, I think Taylor convinced me to read a comic book for the first time in like 10 years. So we're doing our jobs.
Good. Well, you are. I didn't do anything.
You're there though. Okay.
Spirit.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this down. Putting it on the ground. I'm gonna talk about another variant cover real quick. Action Comics. It's Monsters of the Month for DC this month because it's October, right?
Oh, is this a yearly thing?
No, I think this is relatively new. They might have done it last year, but
okay.
They're kind of the variant stuff. They must be making bank on just like selling people multiple versions like me of this stuff because wouldn't even buy this.
Because you want it. You're like, I need that.
So this was my favorite. All of them were kind of like I was like, oh, they're kind of cool. But this one, it came from Krypton. It's like one of those old like movie posters from like the 1950s of like the future is all crazy, and I was like, that's a really cool thing. That's really artsy, and I might hang that on my wall. I could actually replace one of my other ones because it's also movie cover variant, kind of matches with the other things that are above. But yeah, so that's the cool variant.
Did they have any other Monsters of the Month?
Yeah, there's every different like comic, like Catwoman or Supergirl or any Batman. Everybody has a on the cover, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's what's going on this month.
Give them
Monsters
your money.
of the Month. So go watch that.
Give them all your money.
All right. So this week, big things happened. Chris, Flash and Arrow happened.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did come back. We watched those at the house. They were good.
They were great.
So my fiance Shannon, she loves the show. She's obsessed with it. Subscribed to all the Tumblrs and all that shit. And Spoilers for if you haven't seen. I mean, this is a week later, so hopefully you've already watched the first episode of Arrow. I'm just gonna get into. But I mean, at the end, Ollie is in front of a tombstone with the Flash there, and they won't show who the name is.
Right.
Shannon is convinced that it's Felicity.
I can't imagine they would do that.
I can't either, but Shannon's just convinced because there's too much happiness to go along.
I think that the reason why everyone's assuming Felicity is because it cut away from a Felicity shot. Like it was Felicity and Oliver, like, ooh, buddy, like we're so cute together because they are adorable together, Chris.
Yeah. So I think that let's give our prediction who it would be. I personally think it's going to be Detective Lance.
I think it's Thea.
You think it's Thea? But I thought it wouldn't be Thea because they wouldn't get rid of her after a season of becoming actual Red.
Timeout. Oliver would not shed a tear down his
of course
face
he would.
for Detective Lance
because he died, and this is by Oliver's hand, essentially.
He said, "You would blame myself, but I don't. I blame him."
I didn't get that part. He said that.
Yeah, he's like, before I would blame myself, but now I'm gonna make him pay. That's how he sounds.
Is that when he said he was gonna kill him?
He's gonna kill somebody.
Oh, I thought that was before they even got.
Sarah thinks that he's gonna kill Detective Lance for doing something that got somebody that he likes killed.
See, I thought he killed Detective. I thought that whole line. Honestly, I was reading Deadpool while Arrow was on.
Why would you do that?
I was bored. It wasn't super boring, but Arrow's not a show you have to really devote a whole lot of focus.
You missed half the things I texted you about.
Yes, I did because to be honest, I don't even remember the episode. I
loved it.
Who was the enemy in that one?
It was the new bad guy that was the best friends with Ra's al Ghul, and he broke off.
No. I was thinking of Edge from WWE. That was the guy who grew really big.
Oh, that was Flash.
Was it really? Yeah. Who is? Okay.
He was the new bad guy.
Oh yeah, on the train
that's the best
or whatever.
Friend. Yeah, he's in season 3, Chris.
Oh no, I remember who.
You remember? Okay.
Yeah.
For our watchers or listeners, in season 3, Ra's al Ghul mentioned a guy that was like the other guy that might be Ra's al Ghul.
Antonio Cromartie.
He didn't kill him, and so he became the head of this. Was that the actor's name?
No, it's a sports guy.
Oh.
It's a football player. I just thought it sounded kind of like Ra's al Ghul, so Antonio Cromartie.
Okay.
It sounded like it, so I went there.
So anyway, the reason why I brought this up is because there were two things I really want to talk about from the Arrow, and then I'm going to talk about some stuff from the Flash, and yeah.
Before we do that, though.
Okay.
Leave a comment on who you think whose name was on the tombstone. If you guys are listening, tweet at us, comment Chat and Gat. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. I want to know. I want to know what people think. And give us a reason why. I don't think it's going to be Thea because they only introduced her as the Red Arrow.
But
like this season, she was the Red Arrow.
Her?
Why?
Because I think she's into drugs. Because the original Red Arrow was into drugs. There was a whole cover that was like, my ward is a junkie. That was back in the day on the Green Arrow Flash comics or Green Arrow Green Lantern comics. So I think that she's gonna OD.
But there's been no sign of her taking drugs this season.
Yeah, she was extra angry and moody, and we'll talk to Oliver in the very beginning of this episode that you didn't watch.
Valid.
So
all right.
I think it's gonna be Thea. She's gonna OD, and he's gonna get back at somebody for that.
I think it's Detective Lance.
Nope, I think that it's gonna be Thea, and then they're gonna have him train his son, Connor.
Whose son?
Oliver's son.
Oliver has a son?
Yeah, he has a son.
Where?
In Coast City, I think, actually.
What?
Maybe not Coast City. I think it's...
Hold on, not in the show, though.
Yeah, in the show he has a son. Don't you remember the episode in maybe season 2?
Oh my god, you're right. He has a son.
And Green Arrow, Oliver Queen in the comic books also had a son he didn't know about named Connor, and he becomes Red Arrow later. So they could just kill off Thea, and then you could have a son who could be, at this point, 15, 16? Maybe? If he was like...
shit.
If he was early 20s, now let's say he's 35.
Alright, that makes a lot of sense. It makes way more sense than...
And you saw her in Flash one episode. There was an episode where she was outside with the baby, and her name was...
Yeah, but Flash, though, there wasn't...
So she's in Central City.
Right, but continuity-wise, if she's there with the baby, wouldn't that be Oliver's baby?
Yeah, I guess then the baby wouldn't be old enough. Or maybe they mentioned it... Anyway,
they're not going to go 15 years in advance.
Maybe the point is that it's possible.
Until you mentioned the part about Flash and how she had the baby, I thought it wasn't.
And then I just...
Anyway,
that could be a thing.
Leave a comment. Let us know.
Okay, so in Arrow, the truck that they are capturing, trying to get in the very beginning of Arrow, remember, was Speedy, and it was Black Canary, and it was the Guardian Diggle, and they were trying to get that truck with those
What a
bad guys.
stupid mask he wears.
It looks like Magneto.
It looks terrible.
I like the sound it made, though. It was like...
I just didn't get
but it looks
definitely.
just like Magneto. And the people said that at the beginning. I think he tried to defend it, but I don't know.
Didn't work. Anyway, okay, so they were trying. Yeah, I remember that they're trying to steal the truck.
So that the truck was Cord Industries. Cord Industries is the Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle. That's all of this relates to.
Showing. Okay, now I'm seeing it. So we'll show the card, like the overlay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for people at home, Blue Beetle, he's a superhero. Clearly.
Yeah, he's a tech superhero. It's kind of and Ted Cord is BFFs with Booster Gold.
From Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, he might be
Time Traveler, right?
Well, Booster Gold's son is in Legend of Tomorrow by Hunter.
Okay.
Anyway, Ted
It's
Cord.
all getting tied
But-
together.
But what's cool about Ted Cord is I'll do another divert is in the Fortune magazine article that just came out from the actual magazine Fortune magazine on the internet about Lex Luthor as a part of their marketing brochure, which is cool. I really enjoyed it.
Sure.
They mentioned that LexCorp is third under charitable organizations like giant organizations under Wayne Enterprises and Cord Industries. So it's like obviously those two universes aren't connected, but they're throwing Blue Beetle in there all over the place. So they must be doing something big with Blue Beetle. Like they're throwing hints of Blue Beetle.
It's a silly looking costume for people at home.
But it's an
listening to this.
alien thing attached to its tech. It's not. I don't think he made it. It's like almost like a symbiote suit that he talks with. Anyway, so Blue Beetle is something that they might be introducing, and then even more exciting because they were in Coast City. If everyone noticed in Arrow, they were in Coast City in the beginning when he failed to capture that drug dealer in the beginning, and he fell, and the Waller's like, oh hey. Yeah, they were in Coast City, and then when they go back to that scene, they're in a bar, but on the cutaway to the bar, you see a bomber jacket, and it says Jordan on it. Green Lantern. They have been teasing it this whole time, Chris.
Did you see that first view?
Yeah, first view, I was like, ah! And then Sarah was like, what? I was like, oh, Green Lantern! And she's like, who cares about Green Lantern? I'm like, I do!
No one does.
And so actually lots of people missed it. I texted it to another friend of the show, Steven, and he was like, oh, I missed that. I said, you missed that? Because it was like this, it was so blatant, yet
Why
like
didn't
quick.
you tweet this out?
I put it on the Instagram. I don't know what you're doing, and the Tumblr. So I tweeted it to you. I texted it to you. So that would have been you, buddy.
Scream Deadpool, sorry.
I mean, you looked at the text and said, what does that mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the next morning? Inside Baseball.
So anyway,
cool.
Hal Jordan. Yeah,
That's
so
a
and
big
they
deal.
mentioned in The Flash when they went to Coast City, when Captain Cold helped him get all the bad guys there, but they let him go. They said that, a pilot went missing a couple of years ago, and so since that was supposed to be earlier, like that was before he became the Green Lantern, so they might be really putting Green Lantern out there.
I don't know. Wasn't there supposed to be talk that it was supposed to be Diggle?
That was hopes and dreams that were crushed.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking his name was really John Stewart, and Diggle was like his
nickname,
or maybe it's John Stewart Diggle, and they were just gonna weave it in that way by not making his real thing John Stewart. And so you were like, okay, well maybe he's gonna be Green Lantern. That'd be cool because it's a great character. But no, they didn't do that. They made him the Guardian instead. So anyway, that was cool, and that related to Batman vs Superman kind of, which is cool too. And now, to wrap this show up for the last segment, I'm gonna talk about the Flash. So at the very end of the Flash, they introduced a new character, and lots of people might be confused. Jay Garrick.
I did know Jay Garrick.
You did because
the original Flash.
Right, because of our comic chat episode.
Yeah.
But Sarah was
right
like,
there, comic chat episode where we talked about the Flash in its history.
And so what's cool about it is Sarah was like, well, who's Jay Garrick? I'm like, he's the original Flash. She's like, it's not Barry Allen. I'm like, no, and I guess I didn't think about this. Then a lot of people might not know that. So Jay Garrick, the original Flash, we'll put this little thing up here. Who is Jay Garrick? I'm going to go run through really quick who he is, because I don't think we ever talked about like the backstory of him. So he was 1940s character. He's the original Flash.
Yep.
He was working in a lab, taking a smoke break outside, because you would in the 1940s.
As superheroes do.
And he inhaled like hard water vapors, and that's how he became fast. And later they retconned it and said, well, the hard water vapor chemicals unleashed a metagene in his system.
Sure.
Because
Something
otherwise you
that
have to
was
have a real
dormant.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
hit a dormant, maybe from something. But either way, he's from a separate dimension. So his Earth, he is the Flash of Earth 2 until later when they combine the universes. So he has the hat that looks like Mercury, which was actually his dad's World War I helmet that he took and edited it. He was in New York City when they first started, but they changed that to Keystone City later because there's no real cities in the DC universe, but they're all in the Marvel universe.
Right.
And so lots of the cool promos for the new season of Flash. They had the Flash of Two Worlds thing, which I'll show here. It was really cool because there's an original comic book cover, and then they redid the original comic book cover with the real actors, which was really cool. I think if you follow us on Instagram, you saw it, but I'll show it again.
Follow us on Instagram at Comic Chat with Gat.
In 1961, they did that. The Flash of Two Worlds, it was called, and that's what I feel like the first episode might have been called. I think maybe
it was the first episode was called The Man You Saved.
Oh, Central City.
Yeah.
Well, they've been teasing that, like the Flash of Two Worlds. So there might be an episode coming up, maybe the next episode or something. Anyway, so they met, and then post Crisis, right? Crisis on Infinite Earths, which we talked about. The universes all melded together, and Keystone City became a sister city to Central City. So they might even have something happen where this guy might be a permanent character in the show as Jay Garrick.
Well,
I wish he was older though. They made him the same age as Barry when in the comics he's actually 90.
CW.
But
CW.
Yeah.
You can't have.
Yeah, he's actually 90, but because of his meta-human or whatever, his speed up, he looks about 50. Like, so he's still, it's, as far as some of the Earth 2 people that got combined, I feel like he's the only one that actually kept his age, because like that they just made Batman disappear. They had one Batman because they couldn't have old Batman and young Batman. So it's kind of cool that he's actually 90, So that's that. And then flowing off of that, I want to talk about the Justice Society, because I feel like that's the way they're going with the TV shows, because they already introduced Wildcat, right?
The boxer that was helping
Yeah,
Laurel?
that was helping Laurel.
Okay.
So, and he used to be a hero back in the day, but he's retired, so, but that's like, another Justice Society member. And then of the three main Justice Society members that they bring up, Alan Scott is the third, which is the original Green Lantern. I don't think they're going to bother with him, but to be fair, the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, looks dumb. He, They remade him for the Earth 2 comics into, he's actually gay, which is cool. He's a really cool gay character. People were upset, and then they killed off his boyfriend real quick, and then there's no more kissing on comics, so no one's upset anymore. Which is really dumb.
No more kissing?
Because there's no boyfriend.
Oh.
They killed him, like, in the third issue.
You can find another one.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, he's a really cool character, and they kind of made him more mystical in Earth 2 also, because the modern Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Earth Prime, Earth 1, he's space, right? He's sciencey, and it's a ring that gives him power. Well, this guy, he was actually helped develop by Bill Finger, who was the other creator of Batman. So Bob Kane and Bill Finger created Batman. Bill Finger is now finally getting his name on everything. If you watch anything Batman or read anything Batman, it says Batman created by Bob Kane. Bob Kane was just a really smart businessman and made sure that his name was on there. But Bill Finger, the Batman that Bob Kane drew was like red and like dumb. And the Batman we know today literally wouldn't exist without Bill Finger, and he's finally getting his credit, which is great.
He's dead, though.
He's dead, but his family, the foundation. Bob Kane's dead, too, but he still gets his name on shit. Anyway, so...
Yeah, that's great. That's very good news.
Alan Scott, Green Lantern, was a railroad engineer, and he found this mystical lantern, and it's weak to wood.
Yeah, that was the literal lantern, right?
Yeah, and he's weak to wood. Wood is his... Wood. Wood.
Metal!
Can't touch metal! He's like, fuck you, metal. But wood? Fuck his day up. He can get bludgeoned to death with a bat.
Oh, God. Okay, anyway.
Classic
40s.
To be fair, original...
smoking a cigarette while he got
original Green Lantern, Hal Jordan Green Lantern, was weak to yellow. Like the color yellow. They couldn't grab yellow things. Like, God forbid a construction site's coming. Yeah. You're done.
You
Tonka trucks, forget it.
You gotta wear that.
Someone's gonna kill him with one of those
kid
Tonka trucks.
What if he's wearing yellow? I mean, you can't see it.
Well, you read the Batman comic where he was still weak to yellow, where Batman's drinking lemonade in a yellow room with the yellow thing. That was super funny. That was super funny. That's one of my favorite moments of that whole book. Is that
was in the Batman and Robin? Right?
Yeah, also Batman and Robin that we talked about last week that you were kind of right about, but I put it in there. Remember?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I just brought this because this is one of my favorite Justice Society stories that has all these characters in it. It's the one that takes place part of Kingdom Come. So it's that Kingdom Come. It's when Kingdom Come Superman comes to the modern...
Right. That was it was during one of the Shazams.
Yeah, when he was like, Shazam! And then, like, in that moment, my favorite Justice... Legion of Superheroes character, Ted... Where is he? There he is. Starman, Tom Callor grabbed him, like, in between dimensions and pulled him into this one. Because he's awesome! He's the best.
Okay.
Starman. He's like the Deadpool of DC. But about to get for him. So, there's that. If I can come read it. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything...
Read the original Kingdom Come, too, before you read that.
You have to read the original Kingdom Come, and then once you do that, reread it, and right when you get struck by lightning, you pull 3 of these books out, and then read those, and then continue Kingdom Come. That's how you really do it. That's the reorder.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so that about wraps it up. Anything else?
Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, for Flash, in regards to Flash, are you excited to see Jay Garrick? Are you excited to see what he can do?
Zoom? What does that mean? Zoom? That's why I'm so confused, because I was actually reading this because that big guy that was, you said the football player, the wrestler or something?
Edge. He's a wrestler.
Edge. Looks a lot like Damage, don't you think?
He does. He's big. He's
So
gross.
this is his son, I think.
Okay.
Because his dad, I'm pretty sure, it's been a long time since I read this, but I feel like he's always pissy because like his dad was a villain, but now he's trying to be a hero, but he has this like nuclear thing on his chest. He can absorb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He had an abusive father, so like I feel like it could maybe relate to
Sure.
that. But what's cool, it says here, last year he was almost beaten to death by the super speed villain known as Zoom. So when I was reading this, I was watching the episode, and as I saw his face, his costume, I'm just shuffling through my comics. There's like, what are you doing? I'm like, there's a guy, I think this is the guy. And then I read it. But anyway, so
Who do you think Zoom is, though? I thought Zoom was...
Zoom, okay, so I read about this weekend. I read about this weekend. Classically, or what I've come to understand is Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash, are the same person, right? You've got, if they are, what's now Harrison Wells, what's his real name? We've talked about him a couple of times. Anyway, I'm forgetting right now. And
the actor?
Yeah, no, not the actor.
Because I wouldn't know that either.
Anyway, Eobard Thawne.
Yeah.
Eobard Thawne has been known as Professor Zoom, and he's also been known as the Reverse Flash. Now, there have been other, I guess, maybe Reverse Flashes, but there haven't been other Professor Zooms. I looked it up because the other day, because I was confused when it said, I was like, I think it was dead. So I started doing deep into, Wikipedias and stuff. And I guess there have been a couple different Reverse Flashes throughout the years. And one was like a guy that copied what Harrison Wells did because he thought it would make Barry better. But it was Wally at the time in the comic books, but there's no Wally. I mean, Wally's coming into season 2, supposedly.
Wally
West, yeah, who is Iris's brother, who is going to come because they are introducing the mom. So I guess the mom got the son and dad got the daughter. It seems.
Iris and Wally. What did Wally do?
Wally is the Flash after Barry dies. Wally is Kid Flash. But Wally
He and Iris aren't the same age?
No, he's younger.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
So.
I'm starting to remember it more.
Yeah. And remember I told you, like, he happened to, like, the Barry, in the comic books, Barry had the exact, different chemicals that caused him to have the explosion in a back room in his house, and Wally happened to go in there, happened to fall on him, he got struck by lightning also, so then he became the Flash.
Yeah.
They're obviously not going to do that way this time. It's going to be some sort of metahuman something, because that's super silly. But it should be cool. So if Zoom is back, it'd be cool. I still think that way time works, and you can make timey-wimey, whatever you want to call it, it could be Eobard Thawne the first time he meets the Flash, like earlier in his career. But with Eddie dead, I got it. I got it, Chris. So if you remember in Flashpoint, okay, remember they're like, you killed me, but because of a paradox in time or something, I became like reverse energy of you. And as you get faster, I get back, kind of like this thing, like I am the reverse of you, and I can do whatever I want and go through the time stream because I died while traveling through time, or something like that. Like he was killed in the Speed Force that caused something. If you remember in Flashpoint, they explained this.
Yeah.
You don't remember. It's okay. And they explained in Flashpoint. So that could be how they just solved this whole thing. It's just like, well, I died like while the thing was going on, and because of a time paradox, I literally live outside of time. And now I can just fuck with you all day.
Oh, so it's just like, guest spot. I'll see you in season 3.
Anytime.
Just drop in.
Yeah,
hey,
because it's like, oh shit, Reverse Flash is back.
Okay.
But they're just going to call him probably Professor Zoom. But because I feel like Harrison Wells, that was so crazy when he let his dad out, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And so like, it's like.
And then his dad left.
Yeah, because
he just didn't want to be part of the show anymore?
Yeah, it was weird.
That was a weird,
You're free,
awkward.
goodbye!
Yeah, that was an awkward thing where it's like, oh, I haven't seen my son in 15 years. And I don't want to see you anymore. Bye.
Yeah. So anyway,
at his
that's
party.
what I think.
At the party he threw for him. What an asshole.
I think Zoom is Harrison Wells. Well, it's going to be the same, which is dumb. It shouldn't be the same actor in reality because he became that guy later in life.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to do that because it's supposedly in the season now. So I think that they're going to make it because maybe when he was killed in that other body or something. That could be it. I saw that, and that's awesome. So that's what.
And there we have it.
I hope so.
Who do you guys think? Is it Professor or Doctor?
Just Zoom.
Just Zoom. With an X, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's Z-O-O-M.
No. Zoom is with an X.
No, it's
X-O-O-M. I kid you not.
No,
Zoom is with an M. It's with an X.
We're going to look it up, and I'm going to put a picture right here. Who's right?
It's probably with a Z. I don't know. I feel like it should have an X.
Okay.
All right. So that was our episode. I mean, tell us what you think about this week's Flash and Arrow. Comic-Con. New York Comic-Con was this week.
Yeah, there was. They showed a teaser of Daredevil season 2.
They did an entire episode of Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
people
Jessica Jones
loved
is
it.
coming.
And they said that it was had a lot of sex in it. For a Marvel show, there's no nudity and there's no F words. A lot of sex though. So that was an interesting thing.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, she's super strong. I feel like unless
I don't know anything about.
Well, if she has Luke Cage, then that'd be fine because they're both super strong. So it'd be kind of like
Is she an actual superhero? Or does she get her powers somehow?
I don't know.
Next week we'll find out.
I think that maybe like you saw Twilight, right? Just kidding.
Yes, I did.
The fourth Twilight.
Yeah.
Okay. You
Breaking
remember?
Dawn Part 2, of course.
Yeah. You remember when he finally made her a vampire?
Yeah.
And they could have vampire sex and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like
that was actually Breaking Dawn Part 1, but anyway.
Whatever. So I feel like that's what like when Power made
Edward
Jessica Jones, it's probably like she's really careful, kind of like Edward had to be with Bella until.
Follow us on Twitter, Comic Chat WGAT, Instagram and Tumblr, Comic Chat with Gat. This wraps up our show this week. Again, we are a family of podcasts under the CBX Cast Network. We've got Cardboard Box with Taylor, where he loves to talk about Twilight.
Twilight Cast.
Twilight Cast is a new show coming up from Cardboard Box. Joe and Taylor talk about video games. A couple weeks. Halo 5 is going to be out, and I will be playing it, and I'm going to be excited about it.
And Real Retro, we just did a Martian spoiler, book to movie thing.
Taylor didn't have pants on during that whole thing.
It's true.
Fun fact. But you don't see that. Although you do in the beginning of the recording, but we cut that out. Good.